So it is my pleasure to introduce our host today, Dave Hutchens, President and CEO of UNS Energy Corporation, TEP, and Gina Murphy-Darling, founder and CEO of Mrs. Green's World. You also might know her as Mrs. Green. So please welcome Dave and Gina up to the stage.
Did you not get the memo about what color to wear?
I don't have anything green in my wardrobe.
Not even his tie.
No,
Whatever.
it's green and blue eyes, green. It just didn't mix. So,
Next year.
And don't cheat off of my pages. Yours are over there.
I'm gonna be
So
stealing your line.
so welcome. I thought it was really cool that when Kathy was trying to get everyone to hush, did you notice who was actually the first to be quiet? All the fifth graders. They all immediately turned and were incredibly attentive. So we can always learn from our youth, that's for sure. So I just want to make a couple introductory comments about conservation and energy efficiency because they're so important to us and to our customers and such a critical resource in our supply portfolio. In fact, when you look at it, we have a couple different options to plan for your energy needs. We can build new infrastructure, power plants, distribution, all the stuff that we need to generate and get power to your house. Or we can figure out how to get y'all to use less energy and save all that extra infrastructure and all the money that it costs to build. And so that's what makes both conservation and energy efficiency so important. So what's the difference between conservation and energy efficiency? People use those, I think, a little bit too interchangeably. Conservation is just using less of the natural resource, but that means you're getting less of something else. It's like turning your thermostat up, so you use less electricity, but in exchange for that, you get a little less cool air. Whereas energy efficiency comes in and you replace that air conditioner and you replace it with something that converts electricity to cool air more efficiently. So we want to focus on both of those things because both are very key to our environment and our supply portfolio. So one of the things that I want to bring up about both conservation and energy efficiency is, first off, they're obviously the cleanest resource we have. The kilowatt hour that's never produced has zero environmental impact, right? You turn that thermostat up from 78 to 80. Does that sound too hot?
No,
No.
I think it should be about 60.
Just
kidding.
Yeah, 80 is what my wife keeps it at. That feels really warm in the house. But that's a good set point, 78 to 80. But you turn that up. That's a kilowatt hour that's never produced. There's no footprint whatsoever, carbon or otherwise, related to that. But the bigger thing is they're also the most cost effective. So when you look at the cost of actually saving energy, putting in that efficient air conditioner, et cetera, those are the most cost effective resources from two different viewpoints. One, for the customer who puts them in, they get to save that money because they put in something more efficient, they use less energy, and their energy costs go down. So that you guys, that's you all who are saving that money, and hopefully can use it for things that you'd rather spend it on than energy, like education and growing your business, things like that. But even though that individual customer saves money, because of the way that we do our energy efficiency programs, that also saves money for everybody else. It completely offsets that resource addition. That means not only that customer saves money, but everybody else saves money as well. So it's a win-win across the board. That's really, really important when you look at what our life is all about at Tucson Electric Power, and that's making sure that you have clean, affordable, reliable energy service, and that's the balance that we want to make sure that we keep. So I want to go through a few numbers. So they gave me a bunch of numbers, and the numbers are great. And since we have a bunch of fifth graders, this will be your chance to figure out if you're smarter than the fifth grader sitting at your table. But in 2017, our energy efficiency program saved more than 172,000 megawatt hours, resulting in lifetime benefits of those efforts of over 1.8 million megawatt hours. And that's enough energy to power almost half our customers for half a year, 180,000 customers for half a year. That's an incredible amount of energy. It's also equivalent. You guys didn't give me this. So I add stuff when you give me these talking points, so you'll say, where did he get these numbers? So that's equivalent to adding about 100 megawatts of solar to our system. So instead of adding 100 megawatts of solar that would have cost probably about $150 million, we did it through energy efficiency programs that cost a fraction of that. So the lesson to be learned there is always, always, always do energy efficiency before you look at sustainable resources. Reduce before you figure out how to make that resource sustainable. So we also, through those efforts just from 2017, will save over the lifetime, again, of those energy efficiency efforts, 3.5 billion pounds of CO2. 3.5 billion. We'll reduce our water usage by 851 million gallons. And last year alone, in one of our other programs, we planted 7,000 trees throughout the community in Tucson. That's a bunch of trees, and we love trees here, and we love shade. So just a little more TEP propaganda. You heard some in there, but it's my job. So to date, we have added over 550 megawatts of renewable energy on our system. That's mostly solar, about 470 megawatts of solar, about 80 megawatts of wind. We have another 100 megawatts of solar and another 100 megawatts of wind that we're in the process of adding. On top of that, we want to add another 600 to 800 megawatts of solar and wind by 2030. So we have a very aggressive plan to put a whole bunch of renewables on our system, but that means we have to plan for it. So we're trying to make our system ready for that, adding new, clean, efficient, highly flexible generation so that we can bring all those renewables, retiring some of the old stuff and bringing some of that new stuff on. All of that is so that we can bring all these renewables on once you do all your energy efficiency efforts, right? So that's what we're counting on you all to do. So let me turn it over to Gina here, and I'll give her an introduction. I'm gonna see if I can make her cry, because she cries really easy. So that's usually one of my goals is to make her cry. But Gina was the last year's winner of the Lifetime Achievement and Sustainability Award. She's been, obviously, people know her around town. She's a champion of conservation, a champion of sustainability. She's really a community treasure, actually a treasure beyond the community. She has a global footprint now with her radio show. But what I like best about Gina is she actually takes the time to dig into very complicated topics and figure them out for herself. I was on a radio show, I think that was last year, and she turned to me and she says, "God, Hutch, this stuff is really complicated that you do." And I said, "Yeah, I know. That's, you know, it is very complicated, because people just take kind of snippets of what it takes to supply electricity, and when you look at it from tip to tail on what it takes to generate, transmit, and distribute and maintain all the things that you need for constant power supply in our community, it's a little bit more complicated than you might think." So she takes the time to dig in, but she knows that it takes a balance to provide both clean, affordable, and renewable energy. There is a balance there that you have to strike. But she's been a great partner, a great advisor of Tucson Electric Power. She's a great friend of mine, and I think one of planet Earth's biggest advocates. Yes, did I hit it?
I love it. You did. You did. I just want to go back to last year in almost every picture, because Hutch got up here and he started talking about me, and in almost every picture I'm like this. Like, seriously, even afterwards, there's the marks, and every time I thought about it. And the funny thing is, a lot of pictures of my husband had the same look, because it was a happy day for him. So why are we here today? And I would like everybody to press pause and think for a minute. Why are we here? It's a great lunch, nice building. I got private parking, which was really sweet. Chocolate chip cookies. But when they asked me to do this, I know about these awards, and I know what difference they make to our community and why they need to continue to make an even bigger difference. Because as Hutch said, I interview a lot of great minds from around the world about global warming, about climate change, about plastics in the ocean, and I know. And some days are tough for me, because it's like, I know too much, I have to kill me. But it is dark out there, but this is about hope, and possibility and change and setting the right example. So we're here to raise the consciousness of every single person starting in this room, because sustainability is an inside job. So we start there. This raises the consciousness of the community and communities across the globe about the reality of climate and our health, and not just the health of the planet, because it's impacting our health already. With greater awareness, we have the opportunity to educate, inspire, and most importantly, engage others to bring about the positive changes that we wish to see in the world. And I use that expression a lot, and there's a reason why it's timeless. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. It doesn't start with somebody else. And this is about people that said it starts with me and showed up and did some amazing things. We're also here to recognize those people, those organizations, these kids, these bright, fun, articulate kids that are so proud to be here to showcase their work and to get recognition, because that was a kick-ass competition. I didn't just say ass, did I? I didn't. I didn't. I said butt. Kick-butt competition. I am such a role model, but I know from... I have never once used profanity on the show. I'm telling you that in 10 years. So it's just, this is probably my last gig, but it's okay. But I know Cindy from Sunnyside, and the competition was fierce with Elvira and the other schools. And what a great thing to be in a competition about, how to save more energy. So people ask me all the time, what is sustainability? And I think every time I'm asked, I give a different answer. And for me, in my mind, it's really cutting down on your consumption. Use only what you need. Take only what you need. It's based on the premise that we have only one planet, and to be sustainable, we can't deplete the entire Earth of all of its resources. So just think about that. And people say to me, well, I recycle my water bottles, and that doesn't get very far with me anymore. People hide them when they see me coming. And they really do. They're like, oh my God, I have a water bottle. There's a reason for that, because that's the third R, is recycle. And if you're sitting there with a water bottle, I'm not making any eye contact, but the production of water bottles is where the real ding comes. So not using water bottles and reducing is the first R, and that's what this is about today. What I loved about today, and thank you all for the selection committee of this, is this was more about sustainability initiatives. It was a very comprehensive look, not just at saving energy, because that's a big, important piece, but it was about sustainability in a very integrated concept, and I loved that part. It was a much bigger reach to look at what each organization is going to be recognized for, and their actions that set the example to educate, inform, and inspire our community about sustainability and about energy efficiency. Today, we're going to recognize about a dozen community leaders for their remarkable achievements. And Dave and I was trying to think, are we like Regis and Kathy Lee? But I could be Kathy Lee, but you have to be like some hot, hip, new, young guy. And but I wanted to, so we're going to be over there, and I'm like, well, it's not really Vanna White and Pat Sajak either, but we're going to be posing with them for pictures. And I got news for you. I love that. I mean, I think it's really fun. Mrs. Green does not shy away from the camera because it's all about the message. So thank you to you young people that I'm fighting for, because your future is what matters to me, and I want to make the difference I can now so that we leave the planet in a little bit better shape than when I showed up on it. So thank you for your work and for being here. You're all amazing.
So our final category is the Lifetime Achievement in Sustainability, and as Dave mentioned, Gina was last year's recipient. So I'd like to ask Dave and Gina back to the podium. So Gina, do you mind doing the honors with this award?
Oh, my script.
Since when do you use a script?
It's like to make sure there's no profanity. So just before, they knew I would do this before we go on, but think about what's happened so far here, and think about the thousands of people that are represented by the people that showed up here, and the difference that it's going to make in terms of a ripple effect. And take it with you when you go out the door, because we need all of us to be pulling in that same direction. Okay. I love the Office of Sustainability. That's a big duh at the University of Arizona. I know Ben well. I know their efforts. I know the involvement they have with students. So I was doing the happy dance when I read this. It's not on YouTube, but it was noteworthy. Through the efforts of the Office of Sustainability and continual participation in TEP's EE programs, the University of Arizona has achieved more than 22 million kilowatt hours in energy savings in the past decade. As partners with TEP in the development of the U of A Tech Park's solar zone, the U of A is leading the way in the research and development of solar energy and solar storage systems through the facilities at the Science and Technology Park. It's amazing, and you should go on a trip out there. The largest multi-technology solar testing facility in the United States. The U of A has an unparalleled commitment to sustainability in construction, operations, education, and research. New facilities consistently set the bar for consuming the least resources while incorporating design elements to increase productivity. Reduction strategies for potable water use, reduce water consumption by harvesting, and use of reclaimed water for the majority of turf irrigation. Recycling efforts continue to expand, growing their landfill diversion rate from campus buildings, grounds, and events. Green waste and food waste are collected and converted to compost with the help of a student-run program. So again, I have to press pause. At the basketball games, these kids are there with their gloves sorting what goes in waste and what goes in recycling. And I'm glad that I graduated from college before that recycling program got started. And they think I'm nuts. Well, I am nuts. And I go up to them and say, thank you so much for what you're doing. This is so important. I'm so against food waste. And they're like, yeah, lady, just get out of here. But it's just, I mean, they wear the rubber gloves. And Ben, you know it, they're at every event. I do not want to sort garbage for my food waste, but if push came to shove, I probably would. The university's many academic and research programs focus on sustainability and serve as a resource for the entire community while providing students hand-on opportunities, like sorting the garbage, to learn and contribute towards a sustainable future, and many, many, many more important things. We are proud to award our partner, the University of Arizona, the Lifetime Achievement Award the Lifetime Achievement in Sustainability Award. So come on up. So this is it. This is it.
Not yet. I have the last.
I know. Well, this is it for me, and then I have to like get off the stage. The important part's going to be over. I had to do it. Thank God he knows I'm just kidding. So congratulations to all the winners, and I hope that you go out and share the word and put it on social media, because you're role models and you've raised the bar and you've made a difference today. If you're participating in educating, informing, and inspiring our community about energy efficiency and sustainability, you're all winners in Mrs. Green's book. So there will be small gifts on the way out. We were going to put them on the table, but it was going to cause too much, congestion. And again, everything they do with this event is thoughtful and conscious. And I remember that last year when all of us were even helped clean up the tables. You're going to get jars, and inside the glass jars are 3 layers: sand, rock, and rainwater, just like a riverbed when it flows. Not the Santa Cruz. A pendant of turquoise is wrapped around the jar. Legend has it that the Native Americans who lived on these lands danced and rejoiced when the rain comes, and indeed we can all relate to that. The tears of joy mixed with rain seeped into Mother Earth to become what is known as the sky stone turquoise. So it's a really meaningful gift. You can keep this as a reminder of the scarcity of rainwater in our region and how small acts of conservation and sustainable choices can lead to a healthier environment for all of us. So thank you, TEP, for what you do, and thank you for letting me be up here. It was my honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina, for being here, and don't go too far. We have some trash for you to sort. We would have given you gloves, but after that last remark, forget about it. Bare hands. We'll give you some soap afterwards. Want to thank not only the folks who are here who received awards, but all of our customers who participate in our energy conservation and energy efficiency programs. But also, there's also some other thank yous that I want to make sure we get out. Both our customer group and our Corp Com group really put a lot of effort into today and getting this all set up, as well as some people who did a ton of work. I think most of them are sitting back here in the corner. Leonore Fitzgerald, Barb Beyer, Brianna Bracamonte, Tammy McKay, and Desiree Kredoff. They did a great job pulling all this together, so let's give them a round of applause. So bottom line, you got to take away three things. I learned a couple additional things today. One is I'm not necessarily smarter than a fifth grader, and the second was I'm not necessarily taller than one either. So a little height challenge still. That makes me mad. Fifth graders, I got to be standing on my tiptoes, look over them. But the bottom line on energy efficiency is, one, it's cost effective. Two, it comes with a ton of environmental benefits. And three, that I didn't talk about at the beginning, is it keeps the money, it keeps the jobs, it keeps all of those benefits right here in our community. And that's obviously a big thing for us from a Tucson Electric Power perspective, as well as the rest of you who live, work, and play and educate your children here in this community. It's important to keep as much of that money that we save coming right back here to jobs right here in our neck of the woods. So participation is key. So tell a couple friends about this event, tell a couple friends about how you participated in our programs, because this is what we continuously need for us to make sure that we can provide that clean, affordable, reliable energy service for you. Did I say that enough? That's my new thing. It spells out CARES, by the way, so it's really easy to remember for you all. Clean, affordable, reliable energy service. I love acronyms. So if you do have any feedback on the program today, let us know. But more importantly, get engaged as a customer with us. First off, get on our website. We got a lot of great information. We've got a live feed for what our renewable energy is doing out there. You can watch the meter go up and down, and you can see the graphs of our solar and wind throughout the day. It's a really, really cool feature on our website. Got a lot of information about what we're doing around renewables, what we're doing around sustainability. Download our app, pay by our app. You know, this is the continued commercial. You don't get a free lunch. So anything that you have for us, feedback or whatever, you know, get with us. Get with some of the key account reps that we have here today. Contact us anytime that you want. We really enjoy the partnership that we have with our customers and with this community. With that being said, I think I have one last thing to do, and that's to properly thank Mrs. Green with something appropriately green.
Can I get a present? Oh my God. Hutch, this is gorgeous. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, seriously, it's gorgeous. It doesn't have to be sorted.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
So thank you all. Drive safely, and we hope to see you all again next year.